Well, hello, and welcome again to another exciting episode of Ignite with Sandy. So, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, Ignite with Sandy, the word ignite, it's about bringing you people, women from all over the world, from different walks of life, different nationalities, who share their stories of success, who share their stories of challenges. And in hearing their stories, we ignite the neurons in your brain and we bring you interesting stories, inspiring stories, so that you can pick up some perhaps hints from that and put them into your life. So, because you know what, many of us are going through different challenges in life, maybe relationships, maybe health, maybe our businesses, and sometimes you're a bit lost. So, when my guests speak to you, you get a sense of direction, you get a sense of encouragement, and you say, you know what, if she can do it, so can I. And that's what the Celestia Magazine is all about. It's about the work life balance. And today, my guest is a very special person whom I met online a couple of years ago. And she reached out to me because she thought I was somebody that she would like to interview on her podcast. And today I have the opportunity of returning that favor. So, what do I think about my guest? Well, she is very good at adapting, she is very good at adjusting, and she's very good at assimilating. More important, she's very ambitious. And she's very beautiful. She's competitive. She's very determined. And she has this amazing energy. I don't know where she gets it from, but she's extremely energetic. But she's also very interested in reaching out to women, to empower them, to energize them, and also to educate them. So, as you know, I never ever introduce my guest. I always get my guests to introduce themselves. And so I'm going to bring along my charming guest, and she's going to introduce herself. Hello, my dear, and thank you very much for joining me on Ignite with Sandy. Please introduce yourselves to our wonderful guests.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, everyone who are watching us or will be watching this video. I'm Valerie Prasetyo. Basically, I'm quantum psychologist, entrepreneur, speaker, author, but also, as you mentioned, I'm quite passionate about empowering women. So have been creating unique events at different parts of the world, including Dubai. So we will also have an upcoming event on 28th of February. If you are based in Dubai, you're more than welcome. And I think one of my passions, actually I have few of them. One of them is dancing. It's a sport dancing. I'm world champion, 2 times German champion in ballroom dancing. And another passion of mine that I've developed over the last, I think, decade is quantum psychology. It's work with the subconscious mind and tapping into like inner self, like creating yourself. As it said, people who are, let's say, on the healing journey, they are able to create themselves and not just searching constantly who they truly are. So, shortly about myself.
That's, not, that's quite a lot actually for us to assimilate. And you sort of just put it into a few sentences. So tell us about your latest project. What is that? What are you now involved in?
Yeah, well, I mostly work with people and help them reach their professional and personal goals, whether it's in life and relationships. People want to figure out what they want to create, maybe some creative projects, or they're transitioning from work to entrepreneurship. Maybe there are some private issues that people cannot really figure out why they are constantly repeating specific scenarios in life, and they want to start actually changing the path, and instead of having this lack of victim mentality, become a creator of own reality using modern tools. Like, for example, I'm certified specialist in neurographics, as well as master in a method that is called legalization of truth. that's what I have been working during the last couple of years, diving deeper into this. But also, I started a movement that is called I Speak Up, Light Up, that empowers women to speak up with their true gifts, abilities, and talents to light up the world. Because as we know, there are many ways how you can create in a good way and a bad way. It's up to you. But I think nowadays it's so important to create conscious businesses that don't just bring money, but also make sense for yourself, for humanity in general. And we all know that we women, for like historically wise, but also we carry a lot of programs that we inherited from our mothers, from our grandmothers, that kind of were restricting us. And it was built up in, let's say, society, that women do need to double self-prove themselves to be either funded or to make a specific vision come true. And it's very, it affects our mental health, but also at some point also physical health. That's why I think when we are speaking up through what kind of challenges we are coming through, and find solutions how we can make our life easier collectively, it brings completely different change for ourselves, but also for the future upcoming generations. And so we do create documentary series, but also series of events, podcasts where you were part of. So yeah, I'm quite passionate about this project.
Yes, I know you've done a lot in a very short period of time, and I think you're very good at time management because you seem to get a lot in 24 hours of the day. But you know what I would like you to share with us is your journey as a young person. When I say young person, you're young right now, but maybe I can use the word childhood. So, you know, it's very interesting because you've assimilated a lot from the different places that you've been in. And I think that is a wonderful way of actually enriching yourselves. So, can you just share with us your journey as a little girl to where you are today in terms of where you stayed, what you did, etc.?
Well, I was raised and born in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan. However, I am Korean. So I think from childhood, I have been feeling like, okay, I don't belong anywhere because in country where I was growing up, despite I would say people there are amazing, they're very hospitable. The culture is very close to Korean one. We are like Asians, where the family traditions are very highly treasured. But I wasn't feeling like I belonged to this place. And at some point, when I moved to Korea, I also realized that I don't belong there. So for me, it was like a journey to figure out where is this place in the world I want to be and be, settled down. And I think I'm still on this journey. And I did live in like 5 different countries, and with every relocation, it also involved learning not just like the culture, the business ethics, how everything in environment is built up, but also at some point also learning new languages. So I do speak 4 languages, and I think it gave me some kind of sense of understanding how people are thinking. As you mentioned at the beginning, adaptability, I think, comes from this space that if you want to be part of specific culture, you bring your culture as well there. But when you are there, you need to respect the culture where you are integrating into, and it includes learning language, even if it's just the basics of this. So, and I don't say that it just came natural to me. I think it just was kind of way of finding. And today's topic is actually we're talking about the crisis. It's all like the very next level of crisis were bringing me to either new places or like motivating me to learn new things. And I was living like in a pretty like traditional Asian family, where it was kind of imprinted that this is like a meaning of your life, family. That's in a way true, but I think this is also not a completely correct way how we need to raise our kids, because meaning of our life is more than just our family, our let's say parents, our children or partner. It's all about self-discovery. It's all about self-growth. So I had always big dreams, and to be honest, at some point after graduating university, I was feeling like, okay, now I'm on the top of the world because I get a very prestigious job in the bank in the Department of International Relations. Truth being told, I hated this job. And for me, it was always important to do something that sparkles my soul. So as I have been dancer for over 20 years, and so at that point, I decided to start my own business. I opened a dance school, and I need to admit, yes, I was working hard, like 7 days per week, sometimes from early in the morning until midnight. But I really loved my life, the way it was going, which direction it was going. But I think the first crisis I hit was when one day I just came home after another, like, quite exciting but hardworking day, and realized that I was sad basically that my parents had a car accident and they died. So I lost my parents. But if someone have been going through, and I know that nowadays a lot of people are going through loss of the loved ones, it's one layer of this is it's traumatic itself. But another layer is when you actually put the whole meaning of your life into somebody or something. In my case, it was parents, because that's how sometimes Asian families are functioning, right? Right. So parents are on the first place, not yourself, not your partner, but parents. And for me, it also meant not just like losing them, but also losing the meaning of my life. And that's when everything started to go quite down in terms of now, many years ago, I do understand what kind of mechanism in my mind, subconsciousness, were running these programs and playing these games, why so many situations came onto the surface in a 3D world, to call it like scenarios, right? So at early age, like I was 22, I had to face also things like corruption, like the person who was, because of whom this accident happened, he escaped and was never imprisoned. Seeing lots of betrayals, going through quite tough situations, separating from the life with the life partner, and that put me in a very poor mental state at some point. And I think this one of the parts when I said that it's so important to take care about yourself. It's so important to have people who can understand you and accept you just the way you are. Because in my case, I have been going, I think, for half a year. It was kind of a dark night of the soul experience, when I'm going through like a lot of pain, mostly, of course, mentally. That was also starting to affect my physical body. And I have been going through this just by myself. And I think there was just like a one person who knew about this. It's my first spiritual teacher, and I'm very grateful that kind of universe have been always taking. It's always taking care about us. It's like bringing, either it's through right people that are coming up there and either giving advice or showing some tools. So for me, this moment was really learning, like diving deeper into spirituality and learning the first tool, how I can help myself. So it helped me to get out of this. But I think if someone who is listening to us and going through the crisis, it's, as it said, every like single person on this planet can reach a rock bottom, whether it's financially wise, whether it's mentally wise, but it's up to you how deep this bottom will be. And I think when you reach your like the deepest layer, and you can actually go deeper and deeper until you make this decision, you know what, it's enough. That's not the life I deserve to live. I know there's so much for me. And for me, I remember this day when I have been sitting with myself and realizing this is enough. This is not how I'm going to process. I know there's like days when you probably, maybe someone again watching and you don't want to wake up, you don't want to dress up, you just give up, and you feel like this word is harsh, without realizing one thing, that it's we who are creating this world, this specific scenario. So, meaning that we can pull this power back and start creating a completely different life for ourselves. And it starts with one thing, it's a decision. When you make this decision that you are not going back to your past behaviors patterns, to people who are quite toxic for you, or some kind of situations, social conditioning, just wake up. And this is like the first step to pull yourself out from this crisis and turn it into blessing.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and I think what I wanted to add to this is I understand that to go out from the crisis, people are different and they have different coping mechanisms. Like for me, it's connection with something that I'm passionate about and setting quite huge and maybe in some cases very unrealistic goals. At least it seems in the beginning unrealistic. But coping mechanism, it's just a kind of a reset button that can help you for a while. But I see that a lot of people are actually living for years in this mechanism, and some actually until the end of their life. But coping is not, it's just a surviving mode. It's not yet thriving. And at some point, you need to figure out how you can switch from just coping with this pain and this trauma. That's why, if you need help, just reach out to people who can help you process these emotions and find you the new path of living, and how you can create this new reality for yourself to this
So,
life person who is happy.
so anyway, from what I understand, that you had dancing, right? Which is a way of your coping, of your putting your energies into something to express yourself, to enjoy. It was also discipline. It was hard work. So it kept you busy. It kept you energized, and it gave you something to get up in the morning and do, right?
Well, it
So
was my like wake up call, let's say, in terms of setting this crazy and unrealistic goal to go back to big sport, because I haven't been dancing for 5 years, and people can project their insecurities on you and telling you are too old, you cannot accomplish this. Like my goal at that point was I want to go back to sport, but not just go back because it's not inspiring. I want to be a national champion. This was my goal. And deep inside, I did think like it's not really realistic for me to reach it. But I think as soon as you set the goal, what is the most important is to build up this strategic plan. What is my action plan? So for me, it was packing all my belongings and move to a completely different country where I had to start from scratch, long language, and I actually had to leave behind everything. Like I sold everything, like property, everything, my quite comfortable and beautiful, in some ways luxurious life, my friends, everything, what is known, connections, and start from scratch. And it's quite scary because you don't know what to expect. You don't know how you're going to make it. But the interesting thing is, I remember when I made this decision to move, I started to watch a lot of YouTube videos, like dancing, what is happening in the world. And that's when I know, like, somehow it popped up. I didn't even know that this discipline exists in our sport. It's formation. It's when 8 couples are dancing together, and it's actually a very popular sport. It's the discipline. And for me, like, there were 2 teams that I fell in love with, like German team and Russian. There was something that is standing up, even if I didn't know like the how it's functioning, what is the criteria to decide who is the first one. But actually, in reality, it was like 2 rivals, 2 teams that were like the best in the world. And when I moved to Europe, I started to look for, like, searching for a dance partner, and there were like a lot of people were reaching out from different countries, and one of them was like from Germany. And one day she came to Warsaw. I was living in Warsaw at that time, and he was like, "Okay, let's have a tryout." So we had this tryout, and what is crazy, actually, he told that he is actually part of this national German team. that I was observing in YouTube. I had no idea that, yeah, he's the part of this. And that's how it all began. At some point, basically, it became my husband. We have two kids. Also, later on, we started to dance together. And in like 1 year, we became not just national champion, we became world champions. And over the next years, we became 2 times German champions. So the dream did came true, of course, with lots of like hard work. With another location, I moved to Germany and had to learn again language, everything from scratch. But if you want something, sometimes you just need to take this leap of
Yeah.
faith and
Yeah.
trust in
So,
your
yeah.
abilities.
So when you I want you to share with us your feeling of when you were ready to go on for your performance, and you've seen all these world class people around you, doing fabulous stuff. What did it feel at that time? Was it like I had to win this, or was the feeling is like I don't care about anyone else. I've tuned out of anybody else. I'm just focusing on what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it my best shot. And oh, were you thinking about I'm going to dance because I have my focus on the cup. I have my focus on being first. So, what were your feelings with you and your partner when you were getting ready to go into the competition?
I think it's two different things when you represent just yourself and your couple and when you're part of the team. And it was actually mixed feelings because I came into quite established team where they were already 9 times world champions. And just the feeling of, goodness, I have no idea what to do. I don't understand what the trainer is talking about because it was all in German. And going through all these things and trying to understand and figure out things, it was one thing, but also you were constantly put into competition inside of the team because they take only the best to go and represent the whole country. So any kind of one small thing and you are out, right? So this was like a very, it was a huge tension just at the very first place. But I think 1 week, like 1 week, even like I think 6 days before the world championship, we were finally confirmed that our couple is in. And you can imagine we were training like the whole year, like every single day, 5 to 8 to sometimes 10 hours per day. And when you receive such news, it's just like, okay, super exciting. From the other side, for me, deep inside, it was like, oh my gosh, now it's not just about me, it's not about our couple, it's not even more like about the team. You are there to represent the whole country. It's a very heavy responsibility because one mistake and if something happens and the whole team is losing, it's like we are all interdependent, and it's this kind of art of being together. And the second, when you go out there, I don't think I have been, of course, thinking about the price itself because we have been trained also, obviously physically, but also mentally. Every single step, every single movement, you're projecting this in your mind before you go on the dancing floor. And it was all about just being, making sure that I'm doing my part in the best possible way, every single second being fully present, being in flow with the team, because that's what can I do. I cannot control like judges or what can go wrong. I'm not alone on this journey. While as a couple, when we were dancing, to be honest, it was for me always like freedom of self-expression. Yes, I had this dream. Yes, I have been visualizing this so many times every day, probably. And when you go on the dancing floor, it's just like sharing this joy with the audience, sharing with this joy with the partner, being in this flow together. And I think the prize itself, the first place, this golden medals, these trophies, it was just a byproduct of this. And sometimes people say it's in oh, you've been in this team like for a year, right? And some people are training for so many years, it's kind of feels overnight success. But a lot of people they just don't see that how many years it actually took to come into this place. For me, it was over 15 years to reach this goal. That's why even in business, if you are like having a goal, you have this idea, I want to have this award, the eyes are not really on the prize, but mostly how am I self-expressing myself, the work that you put into this process itself. And trophy or whatever title, it's just a byproduct. So I don't know if I answered your question,
Yeah,
but that's how I was
I
feeling.
think it's a lot about the journey. So when you decided to move away a little bit from your competitive dancing and performances, what was it that you did with your time in terms of generating income? Because I know you're one of those people who looks at this and looks at that, and you're always enthusiastic and trying out new things, doing new things. And along all of this time, I think you were making very good use of every second because you've also educated yourself, you have a master's degree, you have different certifications. So tell me, how is it possible to fill in so many activities and give your mental attention to so many things simultaneously? How do you do that?
Well, I think I read this book, and many people, I think, also Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was like, so much fell in love with the idea of financial freedom, and it came to me kind of naturally, like investing in property and generating the passive income. I think I had this taste of what does really financial freedom is when basically I started to rent a big property, and this was kind of source of income for a while. But then when I started to move from one country to another, I think one of my gifts is to creating everything from nothing. Basically, the project that I have in my mind, all the projects I start from scratch, from nothing. There's nothing on place, so to say. There is no like a huge capital or team or something. That's you always create. It start from the vision. Of course, you sit down, you budget things, you understand what do you need, what kind of resources, and then you start to look for people who can help you to realize this vision, how you can fund your vision. So for me it was always, okay, I moved in this country, what I'm going to do here, let me try. Like I tried myself in so many different industries, from having a dancing school to fashion industry, like a little bit. We started to produce some accessories, then moved to creating the first collection. But to be honest, the first collection was never really launched, because I again had to move to another country. And then it was also like combination of I was teaching yoga. At some point, I became a certified Kundalini yoga teacher and meditation. Then it also dancing shows. Then at some point, we also started our own business, in investment, in like property investment, but also going into coaching and mentorship with the time. So I think it's, when you know what are your gifts, what are your abilities, you can always find a way how you can monetize them. And time wise, I think people are really kind of making it a kind of an illusion that you can have it all at one specific time. You can have it all, but not at the same time, because you cannot
Yes.
be set this intention, I want to be a champion, and at the same time build a business empire. Because to be a champion, it's already 8 hours a day of your day, some 5 to 8 days hours per day. It's impossible, right? Because your business takes also insane amount of money, time. Also, if you want to be parents, have 2 kids, I do understand that it's not possible for me to put everything at this moment in whatever I want. So it's kind of a priorities, and it's everything comes with its price tag, what we
Quite
don't
true.
realize. And then
Okay.
people,
Sorry, please continue.
no, I just want to like say that people are very feeling that something was wrong with them. They watch the social media and think, oh wow, this person having this and this, why my life is not so exciting or boring or whatever. It's not about this. It's just like really setting priorities, what a goal you're achieving now, and being happy with this choice and the journey. with itself. But you need to find this inner peace that now, for the next year or 2 years, you're on this journey.
Quite true. Okay, so from our conversation, you mentioned that you're a mom. Is that correct?
Yes, I have two daughters.
Okay, so now here's the big question about time management. And you're a lady who's on the go. Even if you're maybe at home, your mind is always busy. You're always doing something, writing, creating, whatever it is. And how have you managed to include your little ones in your busy schedule?
Well, I think it's not like coming from like, oh, how can I put my kids into my schedule, right? Sometimes when you find out that you are like, even though you like planned pregnancy, you don't know what does it mean. The motherhood actually means what does it take to be a mom, especially when you're first time mom, and obviously you don't know what does it mean to have two kids. And again, it's just understanding that okay, I want a lot um, to experience, so to say, still in my life. But I do understand that at this particular moment in life, I set priorities. And to be honest, as you mentioned, yes, it's on the go, a lot of things. And you just need to, if you are trying to create something, for example, or pull yourself out from any kind of unfavorable situation, don't wait when the circumstances are perfect because they never will be. For example, during summertime, and I didn't have nanny, we moved to a new place, and I have been working on playgrounds. Like literally, I was going with my kids to playground, and while they're having fun, I was sitting with my computer. Either I was making calls or writing emails or writing strategies while that's how it is. It's not that I'm sitting in a fancy office 24 hours and do my business. Sometimes it's like this. Or sometimes you have to take train and go somewhere. It's just really setting what I can accomplish today to become closer to my goal. And I'm literally, when you feel like I'm tired or like I'm not in the mood, I'm like lack of energy, what I'm doing is I'm writing a list of things like 1 to 3 up to 5 things, what are important, and actually write down what I do first, what I do second, what I do third. I set time, specific time, for example, can be a couple of hours, and I'm fully focused. And I'm just, if I have to do this, I do, because sometimes we have tasks that we don't want to do. It feels like, and we start procrastinating and find excuses, or my child needs this or that. You said, no, let's do it. You will not move forward with it until you finish this. And that's how I do. And then I take break and then play with them, or need to prepare like meal, or go and pick up my kid from school. So it's sometimes messy, and you just need to understand you don't need to be perfect. Just go with what resources you have now. Doesn't mean that you have to give up on your goals. No, go for those goals, but just work with all the resources and time you have now.
Okay, so you have a busy lifestyle, you have two small girls that you're looking after, you're multitasking all the time. So, is there any chance that you're going to experience a burnout because you're doing so much?
It depends. I had experienced like burnout, but I think it was like a couple of times when I was putting the whole mental energy into a project in order to make it success. And after the success, what I learned is sometimes there is a toxic success. I call it this way, when you want to accomplish either so much or you want to perform something in the best possible way that all people involved are happy, and you are like, you totally forget about yourself. Nowadays, like learning this tool, this actually brought me to learn so many tools how to take care about myself. Nowadays I'm functioning completely different. Every morning I have my routine. 2 hours is just for myself, for self-programming, for exercising, for doing whatever, like meditations, sometimes yoga as well. So it's whatever makes me feel connected with myself. Only after that I go and interact with other people. Also, when I feel like my energy level is low, I would never like send an email even or go and have specific conversations. Sometimes I can postpone even things. I know it's weird, but people feel your energy. And nowadays, the currency is the energy. And if you are in the mode of like chasing or like being from this lack mentality approaching people, like I need, people feel it and they don't want to work with such people, right? But when you come to people from the space of abundance, like I'm creating something cool, something exciting, and I want you to be part of this, it's a completely different approach. So I do invite all, especially women, because we have so many roles, to learn what serves you, what kind of rituals, whether it's in the morning or during the day or before you go to sleep, in order to take care about yourself. Because we have as many energy as we have, and actually, after I believe 30 or 35 years old, our natural battery, so to say, that is has endless amount of energy, is actually stops functioning this way. It actually goes, in the opposite direction. And we need to be very aware how we spread our energy and what resources gives us. So we need to fuel ourselves constantly.
Okay, so I want you to give our viewers a couple of pointers before you leave about, nowadays you have women who come to you, and I'm sure you have plenty of those who say they're confused. Then you have women who apparently have tried many things, but they have not succeeded. And then there are some women who emotionally in a tailspin for many reasons. So the age group could be any age group. And so I'm sure you do find quite a lot of women and who come to you who are, let's use the word, confused about what they should do, how they should do it, what should they focus on, because there's so much information available, there's so many pressures from different sides, so many expectations from people around them, the expectations of themselves, the fear of failure, the whole lot of different things that confuse women to a very large extent. And here you are, who has managed to do so many things and succeed in that. And you are looking for new opportunities, new projects, whatever else. So, what would your advice be to these ladies who will be watching us and could learn something from you?
Well, I think, as you also know, none of the success is coming without the failures, and we can fail and fail and fail. But to be honest, what is it like? You need to define what is a failure for you, because as you're asking, like some people started something and didn't succeed. It depends how you perceive it, because sometimes when we start a project and it didn't really meet specific expectations, for example, like financially wise, maybe it was a break even or it actually was in minus, right? So you feel like, okay, it's a failure. I didn't achieve what I want to achieve. But you have to understand one thing. Some projects are given to you, like were placed in your head, not probably with the intention to create any kind of financial gain. Maybe it was given to you because you have to nail a specific skill. And just going and reflecting back and realizing, okay, I learned actually so many things, maybe communication skills, maybe how I can negotiate or how I can raise funds. And this was the main point of this project. It was never there for you to make you rich. And then you stop perceiving every failure like a failure and stop being confused. And when every time when you start something new, you need to understand it's like a completely white piece of paper. Don't bring your insecurities from the past to this new project. You're starting something new, but you're not starting from scratch. You acquired an insane amount of skills that you are bringing with yourself. So basically, this kind of self reflection, You put some things in the garbage and some things you pack and you start this journey. And I know that nowadays a lot of women, as you mentioned, they are like searching what is their life purpose, what they have to do with their life, and then they start hiring coaches. I think my recommendation, if you are like super confused with your life, before you know exactly what is the intention, you are hiring a coach or mentor, that understand why you're doing this. Like, what do you want to create? No one in this world is supposed to tell you what to do. And it scares me when some coaches tell you, "Oh, if you don't want to, if you don't have a business, I will give you a business or I'll give you ideas." No, that's not how it works. If you need time to sit in a quiet, spend time with yourself, reflect and understand, like feel what is it that I want to create in this world, then take this time. Maybe it can take months, maybe it can take years. It's your journey, it's your process, but never jump there just because, oh, everybody around, there are so many women entrepreneurs, I also need to do this. Never do it from this space, because when you're confused, you're attracting in your life the same people. They will confuse you even more, because one will say, go and create Facebook ads, or go and never pay to Facebook a penny because there is another new tool. Send yourself, what do you want first, and then be clear in which direction you move, and then you can outsource things, then you can pay money and hire the coaches, the mentors. It's just all about, that's why I'm working with women to really be in peace with who they are and start accepting themselves the way they are, recognizing their worth now, not in 10 years when they have billions in their account, but now, wherever you start, build this foundation, and then you put on top of this other things.
Wonderful, my dear. That was very well put, and I think very systematically listed out so that all our viewers can know. Okay, we don't have to get confused with what Valerie said then, because you put it down so nicely. So, thank you so much for joining us on Ignite with Sandy on the Celestia platform. It was a pleasure having you, and I hope that we can interact very soon in person. I'm looking forward to that. So, till then, thank you very much, my dear.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Valerie, the multitasking dance champion, psychologist, mentor, so many different things that she does, and being a mom as well. But you know what I learned from this is that we are all under pressure, right? Somewhere or the other, we are all under pressure, and all of us have responsibilities. Some of them may be big, small, but they are responsibilities. And I think the biggest responsibility, as she said, is to yourself. So, what do we do when all these things are happening around us and we feel that we're in a whirlwind? Number one is what Valerie said is do your part in the best possible way. Do your role, play your role, fulfill your role in the best possible way. And also, she mentioned something very important. She said, enjoy. Don't make it a chore. Oh my God, I have to do this. No, enjoy what you're doing and share that joy. Because when you're in a place of joy, when you're in a place of positive feelings, you get energized, you feel better, and you make others around you feel better. So, on that very happy note of feeling better and making other people feel better, it's bye from me on Ignite with Sandy. And do remember what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to the YouTube Celestia channel. You're supposed to subscribe. You're supposed to watch us. And we really do appreciate your comments. But we would also like your support to share. So please do share this video in your networks because it's a wonderful message and we would like it to be spread as far as possible. On that happy note, bye for now. God bless.